All right, welcome back to another fabulous Friday night art class where we're here painting these beautiful midnight daisies, and we're using teal or blue if you don't have teal, green, yellow, which I have like kind of a golden yellow, and then I have white and black, but any yellow will do. So, we also are using our three favorite brushes. We have our wide flat brush for the background, our medium round brush for blending, and of course, the small detail brush. So, if you're ready, we can get started with our wide flat brush, and we're going to make a nice big circle in the middle of our canvas with the teal paint. And our circle can go as wide as it can go like out as far as the sides. Make it as round as you can. And we're going to fill it all the way in with teal. Good enough. Doesn't have to be perfect. Give it another good layer there. Perfect. Perfect. And so we have a good, healthy layer of teal on there. And so for the next part, we're going to take our black. I still have teal on my brush, so that's okay. And we're just going to fill in the top and bottom of the canvas. And I'm going to make just a curved line underneath and above our circle. And so I'm going to fill in the rest of this with black. Okay, so that's the top. So it's just meeting the teal there. Let's finish the bottom here. Perfect. So just making sure I don't have any white spaces in between, that we have a nice thick black layer of paint here. Perfect. It's looking nice so far. So once you have that the way you like it, we're gonna go ahead and clean this brush and set it aside. And we can move on to our medium round brush. So now that we have our medium round brush, we're gonna do some details working from the center of our circle, and we're gonna work towards the dark, from lighter to darker colors, basically inside to outside, to get it blended and nice and smooth. So with the medium round brush, we're gonna start with white, and I'm just gonna grab a bunch of it here. I'm going to start in the center, and we're slowly going to work a nice circle slowly outward here. And I'm just going to slowly blend that as far out as it'll go. You can try it again here. And blend it as much as you like. We can do more layers, or we will do more layers for sure. So this is nice. It's blending with the teal here. And we have a few streaks in between. So that's kind of what you want. Looks like a portal. So once we have the white, and I kind of worked it all the way towards the edges, almost all the way towards the edges. And so with the white still kind of there, I'm just gonna dip in a little bit with my yellow and just give it a few streaks kind of around the center here. Like 4 streaks is good, maybe 5, or you could do as many as you want. And then we're gonna just kind of blend those in softly. So they're gonna look kind of, I don't know how to describe it. That's part of the portal, I guess. And we can just keep kind of blending here. And you'll see it just become part of our blended circle. Just a little around the edge. I'm loving it so far. So if you haven't guessed it already, the next color is gonna be teal. And we're gonna do just a few streaks of that along the edges here mostly, I would say. Put it in between the yellow and the white, and so it kind of looks like a gradient of color there. Don't you worry, we're gonna have a chance to do another layer of white. So if yours is feeling too dark, we will get the chance to redeem ourselves. If yours is too white, you can always add more teal if you like. This is your chance. But I think this is a nice initial blend. Maybe I put a little more teal. Oh, that's a lot. Okay. Looks nice. This is good. So, yeah, it's looking nice. So for the next phase of this blending here, now that we've got all of our colors in a row, We're gonna start back in with our black. I still have all of my colors on my brush. But we're gonna start back in with our black. And now the name of the game is blending from the outside with the black. And then we switch, clean the brush, and start with the white again in the center and work our way out until we get this nice blend. You see how smooth it is between the, oops, there we go, between the colors there. That's how we're going to achieve it. Repetitive blending in the same area is the best way to do it. Let me show you. Allow me to demonstrate. And so you see, I can kind of make my circle a little thinner now. I have a little room to play, you see, so I can bring it in about an inch. I don't want to bring it in too much more than that. But if I bring it in too much, I can always redeem myself with the white or even a little more teal if you like. So we'll bring this around. And I'm just repeating, I don't want to add too much black to it. I really just want to focus on blending as much as I can. So it's gonna naturally get smaller as we blend. That was the point of us starting with kind of a larger circle. So if we go in too far, I'll show you how we kind of blend it back out. Perfect. So this is my black blended. Not perfect, but it looks really nice still. It's lovely. So now before I move on from my black, because I pretty much like how this looks, I'm going to go ahead and clean my brush, get all of the black out and all of the water out. So I can now blend the center area out into the black to make it smooth. Wonderful. So I think I'm ready to dive in with the white a little bit. Let's see how we do. So I'm going to start in the center again and just take my time blending all the way out. Can grab a little more and keep going. Getting a really nice blend here. So I might end up putting a little more teal in here. Let's see. Let's see how that goes. Maybe this. I think this is really what I need. Sorry, everyone. Okay, let me start again. We will do this part again. Okay, now let me blend it with the white a little more. Because goodness gracious. And we'll just repeat over the same spot and we will finally get the glow we are looking for. Part of the problem is I do the sample painting right before this, and I need to do it the day before because my arm gets so tired. But I think this is the glow we're looking for. It looks nice. Wonderful. So that is basically that's our background. Everything else we'll use the detail brush. We made it through the wilderness. The rest is easy. So I have two detail brushes, but you don't need two. If you have two, it makes it easier. You can switch between colors and stuff when we do the reeds or the grass, but you don't have to. Um, and we'll actually kind of give most of this a chance to dry for a sec. And we will skip to our, well, kind of let it dry. Right now, we're going to work on our little stardust that's falling and the little reflection in the water, which we're going to use the back of the brush with white, making kind of a triangular shape. Let's see what we can do here. So I'm taking it about down close to the center, but not all the way. And you can see how it comes down into a V sort of shape. That's what you want. Nice. So cute. It's coming down from the sky. All right, and then we got to do the reflection. So when I do the reflection, I don't want to use as much paint on my brush and I want it to be very faint. So it's just going to be like a small triangle down here, just kind of meeting where our reeds will begin. So now we have the water reflecting below. Uh-oh, I'm gonna do it like this. There we go. I think it's looking fabulous so far. So, hopefully, most of your black has dried now that we've done our little stardust and everything. We should be able to lay down our moon or at least a foundation. You might want to do two layers depending on how your white paint is. But now we're using the brush side of the detail brush. And I have my white. And honestly, we're just going to start off attempting to draw a circle. And then from there, we will kind of, I guess, like fudge it until we can get a moon shape, moon-like shape. So I'm just going to kind of go for it here and give us a little half circle to start with. Doesn't have to be perfect at all. At least I know, more or less where it's going to be. And then I can go ahead and just gauge by how, I don't know, I guess crooked this line is, where I can smooth and thicken it to make it more even. So we're going to take our time, and one stroke at a time, we will get a shape that makes more sense. Oop. Uh-uh. Maybe we won't. There's always a way. What am I saying? There is always a way to smooth it out. You just make it thicker on one side or the other. And slowly, bit by bit, it comes together. And so this part might take you a bit of time, but it is worth the wait. Okay, I'm liking it. Now we just add a little extra white and try not to mess up the shape. Try being the operative word. Lovely. I love it. This one's nice because it's simple. It's not too difficult, but it's really beautiful. Just with a little extra time blending, and that's all it takes. So let me at least explain to you guys how the little grass and reeds are gonna go. So you guys can kind of take your time and make them how you like. So we're gonna do it in layers. And we start, of course, again from light to dark, but we're gonna start with yellow and then go to like a yellowy green. And then we can go to like a darker green and then black. But at the very end, we are going to grab a little bit of white and put some details on there. So let me show you how this will go. I still had my white on my brush from the moon, and I just kind of mixed it in with my yellow here. And I'm going to do the little twirl, just twirl the brush against the palette here. And then I have like a more pointed shape. And I just kind of can go for it. I just start at the base of our circle with some little grass reeds. Whatever kind of directions you want to put them, you can separate them a little bit more. You can have taller or shorter. I wouldn't overdo it. You want probably a majority of them to be green, but yeah, you can do this part kind of how you feel it, how you see it. I like to do a couple layers just in case it doesn't show, especially if you don't have such a golden yellow. If your yellow is more of like a highlighter or lemon yellow, you definitely might want to try doing a couple layers, see if you like it. I think that's good enough for me. So that's the first step. But like I said, as we do this, we want the colors to kind of slowly blend. So with this yellow, I want to get a good mix of this yellow on my brush with a little green. So I literally just, I have the yellow here on my brush. I'm just going to scoop a little green with it and make a little section on my palette where I can blend them together a bit. And I can keep going with just a few more reeds in between, like so. Not too crazy, just a little bit, but it does add depth. And so I have my yellow, I have kind of this lighter blended green. Let's put some regular green in between. And again, as we're doing this, I'm not cleaning my brush between the colors. We're just gonna go for it because we really want to get a good mix. These true green ones, I probably can do a few more of these since they're a bit darker. With each darker color, you might do, a few more than the previous color. And do some long ones. Let's do a long one here. For our long read, we can do a couple more here. And add some little leaves here. Almost looks like seaweed. So that's my green. So we've got two more colors before we clean our brush and move on to like the white and everything else. So I want to do a darker green. So I'm actually going to take a little bit of my black here and I'm going to mix it into my green just so I get kind of the color that I like. I don't have to mix it with all of the green paint, but let's see what happens. Oh, goodness. Yeah, it's like a Ninja Turtle green, a hunter green, I guess, maybe is better. Not a Ninja Turtle. Okay, so now I'm gonna do even more, But I'm also gonna do two longer stems for my daisies. But at the top of the stems, I'm gonna put the base of the flower. So let me show you that part first. So if I'm putting one flower here, let's say, and we can put another one right next to her. Oh goodness, that just did not even show up, did it? Amazing. So let's say those are my two, where my two daisies are gonna be. I'm just gonna set up the base of the flower by doing just a few dots in like a curved shape, not necessarily a U. You want it to be a little looser than that. So like that is perfect. So I'm gonna do that for both. And then, after that, I could move on and make as many grass blades in this particular green color as I like. You can also add more daisies if you want to. So we're just going to keep adding here. Let's see if we can fix these leaves we tried to make. Lovely. I think that's enough for me. It's looking really nice. And so the final color will be black, of course. And I'm just going to keep those kind of short and to the front. I mostly want to make sure I cover the bottoms here, if anything, just so it really sells it that these plants are floating here. So a few more short than long here. And I can even take the black and just kind of blend underneath after if you want. That's something you can do. I might do that for the whole thing. Turned out nice. So, can go ahead and clean my brush. A couple of times we have to clean our brush. So we're gonna clean our brush, put the yellow in the center, which is again just a series of dots. Clean our brush one more time, and then we're gonna finish off with our white detail. So we're almost done. Almost there. So, since I have my brush ready and clean ready to go, let's get some yellow in here and I can just make just a big old pile really of it. So it looks like it's a real daisy. And you can still see some of that green below. I do go over top of it a little bit just so it reads as, the underlying shadow. And then we can clean our brush again. So, our final steps with our white, we're going to do three things. We're going to add some like highlights to some of our plants we've already created, like so. We're going to add some extra plants, like we can add like a little wheat straws if you want. And we're going to do, our flower petals up here, but in addition, we're going to add some little small petals in between our grasses for the smaller flowers. So let's get started with our white. I've already cleaned and dried my detail brush. And so let's start doing the reeds and the grasses first. We'll start on this side and we'll add some highlight here to this guy, just taking our time. And I can add just a little bit. That's nice. Let's see. Let's add some more on this side. And we'll add some little dots here at the end. Looks like a little straw of wheat, I think. Just some little string of dots, like a string of grapes. Very subtle. I love it. Let's add our little baby flowers and then we can get the petals done on the big flowers. And the baby flowers, I'm really just kind of doing W's with my brush. More than a W, just a zigzag, I suppose, is a better. I love it. Let's get some petals on these flowers. The petals are really easy. They're just little ovals. Can just do a slight little dash and it should come out looking like an oval with the brush. So we're gonna go all the way around the tops first, like so. Lovely. And so when we do those front petals, we're just making our line a little curved off to the side and bringing it in. We can even make this one a more prominent one. And we'll do the same thing for the other side here. Just a nice curved line coming out. Even do an extra one. Looks nice. You never know how it'll turn out till you get started. Just curving that to the side there. Can fix this one. We love it. Look at how beautiful that is. So wonderful. And that's it. Super easy. Just 5 colors and very elegant. So thank you so much for joining me today. And if you are watching on YouTube, don't forget to like, subscribe, or share with a friend or comment. I'd love to hear from you. And I will see you guys next Friday. Thank you.